I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media and the Crypto Coin Show. And today on Blockchain Interviews with Federico Kunze Küllmer, the CEO and co-founder of Evmos. Federico, welcome to the show, and thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, Ashton. I'm really happy to be here and talk more about Evmos and what we've been doing over the past year.
Definitely, yeah. Evmos is, I feel like, is a highly, in my mind, highly anticipated project that's needed in space. And I'm excited to talk about the underlying technology and where it really fits in and how it's going to help everybody in the blockchain ecosystem. So let's just kick off our conversation from you with a high-level overview and some of the solutions that Evmos is bringing to the space, and then we'll dive into the details.
Yeah. So the first question is, what is Evmos? Evmos is the next frontier, the new frontier of EVM development, because we're integrating fully EVM equivalent blockchain into the Cosmos ecosystem. That means that users on Ethereum will be able to use the same tools and the same clients they normally use for deploying their smart contract applications, plus the addition of interoperability components that Cosmos brings to the table. Besides that, we're adding additional novel incentives and tokenomics so that users, developers, and validators all together can be fairly compensated and aligned with the protocol. So we're introducing a few different alternatives for each of them to be aligned with the project early on.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, great intro. And now, from what I understand, a lot of applications and dApps that have already been worked on and coded for the last few years, the majority are on the EVM virtual machine on Ethereum. But Cosmos has this amazing technology, with their IBC and the inter-blockchain communication protocol, and moving towards a holistic communication between blockchains. Right now they're really isolated, and it's just not very good for transferring funds or applications or communication between blockchains. And from what I understand, Evmos is sort of that key to unlocking the power of Ethereum applications and probably other blockchains to the network of everything. Is that sort of a good understanding of it?
Yeah. So what we did is basically put the EVM on top of the Tendermint consensus algorithm. So we have a fast finality blockchain the same way that BSC or Polygon uses at the moment. But the main difference is that we don't have any rollups because we're not coupling directly with, or we are not doing any checkpointing against the Ethereum mainnet. So it's a fully sovereign chain. That means that we can, every time that the block is committed, all these transactions get immediately finalized. And that brings all the interoperability components, which require the finality component that Tendermint provides, or other BFT consensus algorithms. And because of that, coupling directly the EVM with the Cosmos SDK offer us additional modularity that we can use in order to support novel use cases. So for example, the use of ERC20s as Cosmos coins, so that you can then transfer them to other blockchains, use them in the entire Cosmos ecosystem, and also like the interoperability component, so that other blockchains that don't necessarily implement an EVM can directly interact with smart contracts via IBC that are deployed on Evmos. So this opens the world for interchain composability. So now you don't actually need to have your fully sovereign, your fully EVM compatible chain in order to interact with smart contracts, because that's natively supported via the inter-blockchain communication protocol that Cosmos provides that connects directly with the Evmos EVM.
Very cool. And yeah, I did have Cosmos on the show recently to talk about the ever-growing work on the IBC, and I think it's an incredible project to be able to connect all these blockchains together, and Evmos is a great part of that. I know you've been working on the platform for a while now. Can you talk about when you started and how far along is the project?
Yeah. So I'm gonna first reply with the last question. We are going to launch our mainnet launch and our mainnet next Monday. So Monday, the 28th of February, it's going to be our mainnet launch. And back to the origins of Evmos. So the project initially was conceived as a proof of concept research project that was born in 2016, late 2016. So before the Cosmos Hub or the original idea of the intercommunication between on the interchain between like different blockchain was conceived. The early software engineers at AIB, now recently renamed to Ignite, but they were working on this proof of concept to basically port the EVM on top of the Tendermint consensus algorithm. So it started as a proof of concept. After some time, the priorities shift to basically work fully and solely on the Cosmos Hub. So they deprioritize the project. Numerous other teams, through grants and services agreement with the Interchain Foundation, started working on it, but without providing like enough resources or the vision that this project required, in our opinion. So in 2021, I reached out to my co-founder Akash because I was already working on the project as a contractor. I reached out to my co-founder Akash to basically fund the team to finally realize this vision. The original project was called Ethermint, for the ones that are all in the crypto space and in the Cosmos ecosystem as well. So what we did is we increased the scope of the original concept of Ethermint, which was just like this, as I mentioned before, this EVM on top of Tendermint with fast finality, which we believe was a bit short in terms of like what we wanted to. It felt a little bit short in what we wanted to actually ship and bring to the table and offer to the world. And that's why we rebranded to Evmos and then increased the scope of work to incorporate seamless user experience for Cosmos and Ethereum users, interoperability, and then scalability solutions, like the project that we're collaborating right now with Celestia that is called Evmos.
Awesome. Thanks for that background, and great to hear about the mainnet launch coming up really quickly here. I want to talk a little bit more about that, and I'm curious, when we spoke about moving coins over, moving assets over, working with smart contracts that are on Ethereum. I'm curious, when you are moving to other sovereign chains like Evmos, whether it's with the dApps, the contracts, or the coins, what are some of the security precautions that the users and that your team thinks about? Are there any risks to assets or interacting between chains that your team has covered to ensure like the safety of the funds and information on the network?
Yeah, so there are because we're integrating multiple interoperability solutions, one of them being IVC, that has been battle tested with all these different blockchains. So the underlying layers of security are the same that all these other blockchains that are now live are using. So that's on the side of IVC, that it's connecting like BFT chains through this protocol. On the other side, we have the bridges to EVM chains, because we want Evmos to be like the point of entry for all the EVM ecosystem into Cosmos, and basically offer interoperability between like EVMs and smart contract. We want to also connect with different EVM compatible chains. And that security guarantees for all these different bridges is provided by the native implementation of these smart contracts. We're collaborating with two teams in order to ensure that the first bridges supported by Evmos have the best security guarantees, and we're also collaborating with other members of the ecosystem in not only ensuring that the security practices are the best, but also constantly reviewing like specification and improvement to their bridge implementation. So we're actively collaborating with them in the sense of like improvements, etc. And so that's more like on the developer level, on the infrastructure level that we're doing. And then for the user itself will have to convert their ERC20 tokens into the Cosmos representation in order to transfer them via IBC. This process is enabled by governance. So all the members of all the stakeholders of the blockchain on Evmos will vote for sort of like approving a canonical ERC20 token representation for a given Cosmos denomination. That means that only one ERC20 is considered like the canonical one in order to be transferred over IBC. So it's a process that involves everyone, and we're actively collaborating with all the community members and also releasing some guides in order to make this process easier for review. We're also include checklists for what to look specifically when these ERC20 tokens are deployed. So in case there are no security vulnerabilities, etc.
Definitely. Awesome. Thank you for covering both of those points, the devs and the users. And we were talking about the governance and the Evmos tokens. And what I've noticed in the Cosmos ecosystem is like there seem to be a lot of these airdrops or like rewards for people that are helping to contribute to the network as well. Is Evmos doing something similar for their token and the token holders?
Yeah, we are in fact implementing what we call the direct drop because we wanted to reward users that were early in assisting us to test the initial versions of Evmos, participated in the testnet, but also to reward the Atom community and the Osmosis community that help us fund our team because we back in 2020, in April 2021, we created a governance proposal to the treasury of the Cosmos Hub to request tokens in order to fund our team. And because we were very appreciative for them giving us that funding, we decided to airdrop to them. So that's kind of like on the Cosmos side. And because we wanted to also incorporate Ethereum users, which we think are going to bring most of the developers, we decided to implement the first ever gas drop. So we're rewarding users based on the interactions they had with smart contracts. So the more gas you spend in the smart contracts, the more tokens you will get airdrop. So that's how we're incentivizing like users in Ethereum. And then the other two categories that we wanted to include was to give back to all the core contributors of the Cosmos ecosystem. So all the core contributors also will be receiving an allocation. So the upstream dependencies that we use, like the Cosmos SDK, Tendermint Core, or even Go Ethereum, will be rewarded with tokens. And the final category are the rec users. So users that have been subject or like part of the security vulnerabilities in different projects on Ethereum, because we wanted to reward users that suffer these consequences of security vulnerabilities. We picked up the top security vulnerabilities based on market cap that was, or like the total price or the total volume that was vulnerable to this attack, and then we were rewarding the particular users that were vulnerable to this. Wow. So those are I think 4 categories, like Cosmos user, Ethereum users, early contributors for all these dependencies, and also rec drop users.
Wow, incredible. Well, it sounds like a lot of people are going to be getting an airdrop, and I'm guessing they should follow along to make sure that they don't miss that. And now, you mentioned in the beginning about the Mainnet launch coming on Monday, which is incredible and really close. Can you talk about the implications and the next steps on what does that mean for that mainnet to launch?
Yeah, so for us will mean that the initial concept, the initial proof of work concept that the Ethermint project was created in 2016 is finally coming to fruition.
Wow.
Which is a personal thing that I'm really excited about. Like for more than, I think it's more than like numerous years that this project has been shifting hands, and it's finally coming to fruition. And then the other thing is the users will finally be able to interact natively with a fully EVM compatible chain that will offer a seamless experience not only for Cosmos users but for Ethereum users. And how we're doing this in particular is because we don't want to force like MetaMask, the users that need, like traditionally MetaMask for signing a transaction or interacting with applications. We don't want them to download the Kllmer wallet, which is like the Cosmos mostly used wallet. We're enabling signing Cosmos transactions on MetaMask and Ethereum transactions on Kllmer, so that users can use their already downloaded wallet to interact with the Evmos blockchain. So this is something that we want to enable as we're like merging the two ecosystem into a seamless user experience on the base protocol and on the layer one, and also creating all these incentives so that validators, users that interact with the blockchain and with the smart contract get user rewards, and finally developers that will be able to get half of the transaction fees for the users that interact with their applications. So as a user, you're interacting with, say, Aave that is going to deploy on Evmos. You're interacting with Aave and you're getting incentive rewards for all the gas that you've been spending. So you're getting rebates on the gas you spend. And the Aave protocol is getting half of the total fees for all the users that interacted with their smart contracts. So it's a win-win because we see this as a marketplace, as a two-sided marketplace where developers and users meet together, and developers are able to offer their applications, and users are like the ones interacting with them. So like it's only fair to incentivize both sides of this marketplace, and not only miners, as what happens on other EVM-based chains or validators.
Wow. Amazing, Federico. It sounds like you have laid out the ecosystem to really reward each other and work together. So I'm really excited to see the mainnet launch coming up here. I'm interested in finding out where can the viewers find out more information about the mainnet launch and about these airdrops, and how they can also contribute to the Evmos ecosystem. What's the best place for them to find out about that and to get involved?
Yeah, well, first of all, listening to this interview will give them a lot of context about the rec drop, the mainnet launch, the history of the project, and all the details and incentivization that we have for our users. And then we have our social media channels. We have on Twitter, we have on Telegram, we're Evmos.org, Evmos.org, and then on our Discord, discord.gg/Evmos. So those are our official communication channels, and you can also go to our website, evmos.org, and you can go to the documentation there and follow the instructions on how to join our permanent testnet that is currently live, and the mainnet that is launching next Monday.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Federico. I will leave those links in the description box below as well. All the best on the mainnet launch and all these updates that you talked about. I'm looking forward to seeing them play out, and let's definitely follow up in the near future.
Thank you so much, Ashton. Looking forward to talk.